Okay, so my name is James Williams Jr. I made two videos and I deleted them. So now I'm going to just make one video and explain the two videos that I deleted because I can't retrieve them from the trash can because I'm recording this on a laptop's computer. Alright, so basically the gist of the two videos was about racism, color wheels that black people have to face, and not enough actors of mixed ethnicity working in Hollywood. And if they are of mixed ethnicity, they're not playing any of the black roles. They're catering more toward their whatever they're mixed with role. Now I know you're all thinking, well, James, aren't you going to do that? Well, if that's what I have to do to get my foot in the door, yes. However, I would prefer to do the stories in which I have written where my character can have a black mom and an Asian dad, or a black dad and an Asian mom, or a white mom and a black dad, or a mixed mom who's white and Asian and a black dad. Now, I've written millions of stories like this, but Hollywood's not knocking down my fucking door. All I need is a studio, actors, and a payroll. I have a camera. It might not be up to date with everyone else. I actually have three cameras. Just that one there's the more recent camera that I have. I need to get more hard drives so I can get my stuff straight. But I have a camera. Now, I also would love to have filmed in Virginia, and here's the main reason. When my father was alive, I wanted to film in Virginia. A studio opened up that wouldn't give me a Hollywood shot like they promised Hollywood East. Y'all know who the fuck you are. You still have my movie Fallen Dragons. I'd like to have it back, even if it is on VHS tape, because y'all don't do kung fu movies. The least you can do is send it back. Sundance sent their copy back. They told me that the movie sucked. But here's why the movie sucked, because I couldn't get enough people to work for free. This has nothing to do with the actors in the film. Thank you guys for giving me a shot, because no one else would. I greatly appreciate all my actors in every film that I've ever made, because at least I know what I've been trying to do. But trying to do and accomplishing are two different things. I also did another movie called Dragon's Breath. That got lost. And then I did a series called Guardians of the Earth after I did a movie called Path of Ascension. However, Path of Ascension is probably the only one you can find on Kung Fu Havoc #1. Now, here's the problem. One, when you make an independent film movie, you don't have money. You don't have a lot of actors that are willing to work for free. It's $20 and we can get three to five pizzas and a big bar soda, and everybody will be fed and happy. Because that 555 deal from Domino's is a motherfucker, especially when you're poor and you need to eat. And they deliver almost anywhere. So, that's that. Now, back to the point of the video. As I said in the other videos, first let me salute The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, and Tiger Woods, and I didn't mention him, but Jason Momoa. What do these guys all have in common? Or what do they have in common with me? Well, they're doing what I want to do, and I'm not. Well, Tiger's just playing golf, but they're also mixed. Alright? The Rock is part Samoan. Jason Momoa is part Samoan. Tiger's part Thai. From Taiwan, I think. Maybe Thailand, I'm not sure, but his mom was Thai. My grandparents are of Native American descent, which means I am also of Native American descent. And Native Americans, guess what? In case you didn't miss all my other videos, Native Americans are Asian. Oh, let me prove that point one more time. This is an encyclopedia. This is a page about our ancestors, because Native Americans come in many colors. But if you look right here in the highlighted area, the first Indians came to the Americas, from Asia, more than 20,000 years ago. It pays to actually know how to read sometimes. Reading is a double-edged sword also, because sometimes the shit you read will just disgust you, and read about human rights and how humans are treated and things like that will just fuck you up. So, let me now first salute Miss Shawn, because I don't know your name, and Miss Viola Davis, who's one of the greatest black female actresses of all time. No, this is not so that I can get on your show. This is just pointing out what I'm about to point out. So, this 2 videos that I deleted led up to this video about the color wheel amongst people of color. Now, I will say this, as far as I know, had to mute that TV because that beamer was getting on my nerve. As far as I know, only black people qualify for this. I don't know if Asian people qualify for this. I will say Native Americans may qualify for this, because that's that picture that showed you Native Americans come in many color. Some are lighter, some are darker, and just for the record, Eskimos are also Native Americans, so don't get that shit twisted, because most of the tribes spawned from Native American tribes. The ones, the main, there was probably one big tribe, and then they splintered into many different tribes. The Eskimos, the First Nations for Canada, and then every other damn Native American tribe went from west to east, north, and south. Alright? Got that out the way? Which is why they vary in color. Alright? So, me being mixed, I have Native American, white, and black in me. Here's the color wheel. So, from the darkest to the lightest, black people have a color wheel. Now, I brought this up in my other video about the news lady who thought she was interviewing the girl that plays Gamora, Zoe Saldana. I'm pretty sure I said that shit all wrong. So Miss Gamora, I'm sorry. Versus Tandy Newton, who's in Westworld. Alright? Tandy Newton was doing an interview and she said the lady thought that she was Zoe Saldana. Alright? So that covers that. This is why I brought up the color wheel, because you won't mistake Tandy Newton for Michonne. Now, I will say, I could be wrong on this, but I think Zoe and Tandy are both not, like, American black people. I think they're, like, English or something like that. So, they're, like, light-skinned because they're more likely, like me, they're multicultural or biracial. So, they have the light color wheel, where you have Miss Viola Davis and the lady who plays Michonne. They're a little bit more down here in the brown section. Alright? Now, I say that because black people, if you're black, you all know this, and even The Rock knows this, that there is a color wheel amongst people of color. So, let me get into this, because I made this video before, so this is a newer version of the color wheel. In the color wheel system of being a person that is black, I'm specifically only aiming to set black people because we are the ones who are most likely to have the most people of color diversity. Alright? So, from the lightest to the darkest, you have a color wheel. And the color wheel pretty much determines how some people of color are treated by other people of the same race and color. Not just by whites and Asians, but by other people of the same race and color. So there's also a secret war that's been going on since the dawn of slavery between the light slaves like this, or you people who are more mulatto, where you could pass for white, which is what my mom looks like, because I've lost her in Scottsville at least once or twice, because she blends right in with white people. We like to call that passing, by the way, for those who don't know. And then you have darker people. The darker people believe that they have more African in them, so they treat the lighter people like we think we're better than they are. Alright? Yes, I've been on the spectrum of being racist by black people for the color wheel. This video is not going to help me have any fans in the darkness side. No. But if they know like I know, if your ass is brown, you're going down. Because when the cops see you and you have color, all that matters is they're going to take your ass down. Now, I had to point this out because I did salute them, so now I'm going to talk about them. Okay, so for Momoa, who played Aquaman, you know, he gets to play characters like Conan and Aquaman and stuff like that because he has a Samoan face, but he kind of has more lighter skin tone. Where same thing with The Rock, you know, he has a lighter skin tone. He's not as light as Jason Momoa or his cousin Roman Reigns, but, you know, Rock's cousin, not Jason Momoa's cousin. But, you know, and the same thing with like Samoa Joe and shit like that. They're all up here or lighter. Where if you go into people more like Wesley Snipes and them, Denzel, Danny Glover, um, Idris Elba. These are characters that are more famous, still famous today, that I can actually name. Robert Guillaume, who has passed. You know, those guys go from light to dark. You can put them in whatever order you believe is the light and the dark, because everybody see things differently. These are, we have not so many famous black actors and not so many famous black movie actors as the ones that I've named. I didn't name any of the TV actors because I don't honestly know their names. I know their faces. I don't know the name of the guy who plays Abe Carver. Our only black actor that's mixed that I know by name is Shamar Moore, because he has a white mom. And like me, he's exceptionally light. So, he also has a unique name, so that kind of makes it a little bit more easier to decipher him from everyone else. Oh yeah, there's LL Cool J. Yeah, but he was a rapper. And there's Ice Cube, but he also was a rapper. But they're also in the fair brown tone. And they could tell you the same thing. No offense to Don Cheadle. No, as you start getting to Don Cheadle's color, the color wheel starts going darker. Again, no offense to War Machine Don Cheadle versus War Machine Terrence Howard. You understand where I'm going with that? That's exactly why I did that, because of the color wheel differences. Because Terrence Howard is lighter than Don Cheadle. Alright? Now, just so that we don't make this into a racial clusterfuck, I've had more problems from people browner and more of the Don Cheadle color than the people that are the Terrence Howard color. Alright? And the reason that is because this color wheel thing that people of color will hardly acknowledge, and so that's another reason why I'm making this video, because we don't want to acknowledge these things because we have enough racial problems that people don't understand it. We have racial problems within our own race too, because of the color wheel. Now, way back in the day when the slave owners used to rape and molest their female youth slaves, this is how you get supposed light-skinned people. That is a stereotype. Do not believe that. Just because you don't have light skin does not mean that you have white in you. Just because you do have light skin does not mean that you have white in you. In case you guys fail to understand history, Egyptians and Persians and stuff like that were fairly brown skin in a country where the sun just smacks dead on them. But adaptability is a human trait that we all possess. Now, this color wheel thing, really, I think it only affects American blacks. Because, if you have a token black in a film, he's either going to be exceptionally light or exceptionally dark. He's not going to be in the middle, like me. No, I guess I would fall in the middle. I don't really know. Unless they, like make up my arms to look like my true color up here. We have this color wheel, and it is a distinguished color wheel from lightest to darkest or from darkest to lightest. Whichever one is fair, you can go by whichever way you want. Now, I can say, if I flip the script, because I don't know if white people have a color wheel. I think if their color wheel exists, it's probably all about their hair and their eyes. How many people have blue eyes and blonde hair versus how many people have black eyes, black hair, green eyes, black hair, blonde hair. I guess that's their color wheel. Because most white people's skin colors kind of all seem the same. I don't know. But I know black people and Asian people have a color wheel. Now, let me point that out. Because yes, if you're Polynesian, I'm sorry. If you're Hawaiian, if you're Samoan, guess what? Here's the bad news for you. It's actually pretty good news. Your ass is Asian. Alright? Don't try to say that you're not, because you are. Okay? You might not want to claim it, but you are. Also, if you're Filipino, your ass is Asian. Whether you want to admit it or not, your ass is Asian. So, there are dark Asians. We can start with the Polynesians, which would be the Samoans and the people, the native of Hawaii or Tahiti and shit like that. Those are Polynesians and they're still Asian. Asians, enough said. So then you have pretty light Japanese people and you have pretty dark Japanese people. Just depends on what part of Japan they're actually from. Sorry, a little drool there. And then it's with Chinese Koreans, you have pretty light them. A lot of people from Vietnam, because they have tropical heat, tend to look more my color, but they're also very light people from Vietnam as well. But a lot of the people from Vietnam that look my color are probably children of dust who parents had sex with GIs and were left behind. All right, and then there are also ones that are mixed with white, but they don't look white in the face. They're just like really pale skin. So again, Asians also have a color wheel, and the closer you get to Siberia, which supposedly Native Americans originated out of Mongolia through Siberia over to Alaska, and then spawned out, you have more lighter colored Asians. All right. Now the islander Asians are the ones that are the darkest, which would be like the Philippines, the Haitian, the Samoans, and the natives of Hawaii. You know, which also has some Japanese ties to King Kamehameha, because King Kamehameha the First was not even Hawaiian; he actually was Japanese. I'm sure you guys probably didn't want to hear that, but there it is. That's actually fact, so you can go Google that. Now, I think by the time you got to King Kamehameha the Third or the Fourth, he was all Polynesian by then. I forgot how King Kamehameha actually arrived in Hawaii, but we know he was not of Polynesian descent. We know he was Asian, but we don't know where he came from outside of Japan. The myth is that King Kamehameha the First was actually Japanese, right? And there is a strong heritage of Japanese people and Chinese people in Hawaii, not just Polynesian people. Do not ask me what the Hawaiians call them, because I know they call the white man Hua or Howie or whatever. Let's not go there. This isn't about being racist. This is about the color wheels between blacks, whites, and Asians. And like I said, for white people, I really don't think that they have a color wheel. I guess Italians and Jewish would probably be the darkest of the whites. But I don't know if Jewish actually a race or if it's a religion. So we're just going to put that on the side burner right now. But my color wheels, it really varies because, let's see, without pissing off The Rock, he generally doesn't really do a lot of stuff for his black side. Now, I don't really know because I don't follow him on Twitter like that, and I don't follow Momoa and them on Twitter like that. But last month I mentioned a video about Happy Polynesian Day or week or something because I didn't even know it existed. Because again, if you don't know these people, then you don't know what days exist. You know what I mean? Like Chinese New Year's in February. Now, at one time in America, Chinese New Year, Native American History Week, and Black History were all in February. So as far as we know, Chinese New Year and Black History Month is still in February, and they magically moved Native American Month to the month of Thanksgiving. And if you watch these anti-Thanksgiving propaganda videos from Native Americans, you understand that they kind of are pissed off about that. I can't kind of say I blame them, but there's a lot of things that are covered in lies and history. So we have to just go with what we know until we learn the truth. Now, as a young man of color, who's often mistaken for a Filipino or a Mexican, these are things that you deal with. But also, I have been on the reverse side of racism from other black people who are darker than me. It's like, oh, you ain't even really a black man. Back in middle school and grade school, mostly grade school, when there was a race war, black people didn't want me on their side because they didn't know that I wasn't Native American as well as white and black. They just thought that I was black and white. I always thought I was black until Miss Conrad pointed this shit out. And as I tell people most of the time, most people don't really know anything until someone else points it out. Which is the same thing with kids being oblivious to racism until you point it out. Because most kids are not born racist. Kids don't see color. They see you as you. Why can't we as adults do the same thing? And I know you're thinking, but James, you brought up the color wheel. I brought it up for a reason. I brought up the color wheel for the simple fact that, one, people like me do exist. People who are mixed. Why are we not working in Hollywood? Because a lot of people, like me, have been told, you'll never make it. How can we make it if you won't give us a chance? Alright? 2, when the studio that I mentioned came here to the East Coast to promise us the Hollywood East, but yet, if you're not a member of SAG, or at the time you weren't a member of the person who was running the shop's family, you weren't given a shot. Now, I don't know if that studio's still making movies. I know that they do make kung fu movies, or they distribute, they don't make them, because they wouldn't give me a job and they still have my tape, which I would like to have back. Especially since you wouldn't give me a job when I was 27 years old. Y'all could have made me famous. We could have been making money till this day. But that was too much like the right thing to do. I brought this up for that very reason, because the simple fact that if you're in the art of making movies, it should not matter what genre it is, as long as it's within the state parameters of the law, then you should be able to make movies. I only need a studio and a payroll to pay my actors. Maybe a good deal with Netflix, maybe a good deal with Showtime. Something that's going to be proactive so that all of us get paid and we can work and enjoy what we love. I brought up the color wheel for the simple fact that a lot of people who are darker than me that have studios don't want to give light-skinned brothers a chance. On the flip side of that, a lot of people who are lighter than me or my color don't want to give dark-skinned brothers a chance. So that's why the color wheel was important. I made this because of the simple fact that if you're going to not give someone a chance because of your stereotypical thing of, well, your color is not what I'm looking for, give me a different role. I don't have to be the star. Give me a different role. It's not that hard. I will make a second video to this color wheel thing. I'm James Williams Jr. It's Comfort Habit number 2. BC.